lots of fantastic activities, especially the ones where the children are learning the songs and the actions to the songs. I find that's engaged the children immediately, and they've just really, really thrived on that, and they've picked it up so quickly.
They've been teaching me how to use a melodeon, and they've been singing songs and telling us how to safely use a stick to dance. I played the mini melodeon. Put it open and then squeeze it down, then it makes a noise. And then there's buttons to click.
We were so excited about how it could become a cross-curricular project and how every part of the school could become involved in the project through music.
We had to learn about a song called Santiana that the sailor wrote when he was on board his ship, which was sort of a sea shanty which helped them to keep the beat while they were rowing, and it also kept their spirits up most of the time. And after that we wrote our own version of the song after we got used to the other song and the beat. So when we wrote our own version, we wrote about a trip we went on to the coast on school journey, and it was a lot of fun and we learned a lot about it.
We're very excited bringing the 5 key stages together, and that's been some lovely moments in the dancing, watching Key Stage 5 pupils engaging with Key Stage 1 pupils that are half their size.
I liked playing the violin the most, and I love watching my friends dance. It was a little bit difficult, but I tried really well and I got on really well.
And we already had an existing folk music unit of work that I'd written, and it wasn't particularly exciting. It kind of culminated in a version of The Drunken Sailor, which they already knew, and we kind of did a kind of music tech version of it to bring it kind of into the modern day. And I was just looking for something to kind of supplement it a bit and make it much more exciting. Because I work closely with Camden Music, I'd heard a lot about what kind of goes on here, and I kind of thought it'd be great to kind of put some of that expertise into the classes. And what I was really keen to do was actually take something away from it so that I can next year and the years to come actually write it into the schemes of work. So we're not just doing a kind of one-off project that we normally do and the students go away and go, oh, today we did some African drumming, it was great, and we never hear about it again. So I really wanted to kind of rewrite this, and I already have started doing that actually, and I've taught some of the things that the artists that came in have done. And they all really, really enjoyed it, and they all really participated singing, which was one of the main things I really wanted them to do. Some of them got the chance to learn the banjo, but I've, as a kind of classroom secondary teacher and head of music, have thought it's absolutely brilliant, and I can see that the students have made a lot more progress in some of their kind of areas of this unit of work than they would have done had we not had this input.
Mainly looked at 2 different songs. The first one was a sea shanty. So we learned a lot about the context of sea shanties and how they could be improvised, and where they would be sung, what you might sing about. So we learned the traditional verses, and then we kind of wrote our own verses about being at sea. So we had our kind of heaver up, stamp, stamp, clap, our stamp, clap away, the harmony in a verse, and they were all different colours. And we split into, I think we had 2 big groups. And they could kind of make their own arrangements with these cards, so they put them out. So it was a really nice visual aid, and a way that they could make it their own, put their own verses in, and make their own complete song, which was really nice as well. And the second song we did was more of a narrative song. It was a song about London. It had lots of places like Covent Garden and things that they recognised, which was really nice. And we kind of learnt that song and then modernised the whole story so they could translate it to today. So what was quite nice is I think they had quite a feel of ownership over these songs, and they didn't seem so far away. They felt like their own songs.
On a project with Year 8s, trying to engage them in the folk arts and looking in particular I came at it from a perspective as a music teacher of, well, we want to learn about simple time and compound time, because we don't actually do much on that in Year 8, and that was kind of our starting point, really. The big thing for us was being lent some instruments by the society, and so we had piano accordions, melodeons and banjos in the classroom, and children learnt to play 2 pieces orally, and then we allowed children to opt in for an after-school club which met with Rob, Miranda and Johnny, and then it was pupil-led as well when they weren't there. But I think the main aim for us was just to introduce children to something new and not make a big thing of it being this is folk, but that was kind of an additional thing that they were learning about folk music.
Throughout the sessions it's been nice to give music out sometimes, and also been learning by ear, by a phrase at a time and then picking it up like that. From the musician side especially, I think that they've had the freedom to be very creative in the work that they've learned. So we've taught them the basics of the tune, but then we've reiterated throughout the project that folk music isn't all about like sort of dots on the page. It's about lifting it off the page and what can they do to make it different. We decided to push the collaborative process almost from the second week, really.
I suppose the highlight, of course, is corporate singing. That's what it's all about. I think in schools now, with increased secularisation, we've lost the singing assembly, and getting 240 students together singing at the same time is magnificent, and I think that was the highlight. And I think we'll probably keep some of the songs that we've done with Year 7 in our Year 7 kind of introduction to music and singing module. Of course, the great legacy will be the repertoire that we have as a group. We shelve everything away, and so that will re-emerge in future years.
The first piece I wrote was called The Summer's Morning, which was collected in Durham Marketplace, and that's a fantastic song, and so I've turned it into an instrumental piece and kind of expanded it out and made it something that's really accessible for orchestral musicians who aren't used to folk music. And I taught an entire Year 10 class about composing, and so what we did is we took a basic tune from the Full English Archive, and we looked at how to take elements from that tune and to expand the piece of music. So they've been learning about choosing chords, accompaniment style, looking at lyrics, and they've been also looking at how to get the most out of a tune when what you presented with is a kind of starting point.
I've played on my trumpet the folk music. I really like it because they're really nice melody lines and they're not too complicated, so it sounds nice when you play them. And I think I would try and get more of my friends involved with folk music.
Thinking back to when I was in high school studying music, I remember that although I was extremely interested in folk music and doing it a lot in my spare time, it wasn't something where I ever felt it crossed the bridge into the academic side. And what's really exciting is that there might be kids just like I was around here who have been doing folk music, and that hasn't been part of their school life. But I know for a fact that there's two great kids, Jacob and Ruth Bradley here, who are really excellent folk musicians, some of the best around, and finally this folk music is in their school and they can sort of bring out some of their expertise and really shine.